a hard game, but no, it's not embarrassing because you're against one of the best teams in the world. You're playing for the All-Stars picked by the fans, so it's an honour to be out there, honour to play in front of these passionate fans, and an honour to play at this great stadium, so no, not an embarrassment at all.
Front row left.
David, you play with these players for a long time, and you've been on the positive end of a lot of 4-0 scores. What goes through your head as the scores running up and the other way?
If you play at that level, you don't stop at 1-2-0. You want to work hard because you want to get your fitness, and you're not playing at a club like Manchester United just to go through the motions and just to win 1-0. You want to win the game, you want to score as many goals as possible, and you want to play hard. And it's we had a couple of good chances, like I said. If we'd have put one of them away, then it could have been different, it could have been closer. But when you don't put chances away, then a club like Manchester United and players like that have played for Manchester United will capitalise on that.
Second row on left.
David, I think you would be best to ask this question. What was it? You played for Sir Alex Ferguson all those years for Man United. What's it like to play against him?
Yeah, I had many years and many successful years playing for Manchester United and playing under Sir Alex Ferguson. I wouldn't be in the position I am today if it wasn't for him, because he gave me a chance when I was 16, 17 years old, and he had the faith to give youngsters a chance. So I owe him a lot. The father figure to me for many years. So obviously to play against Manchester United, still with Sir Alex Ferguson as manager, still with some of the players that I played with and the fans that I played in front of for many years, it's emotional. It's always going to be emotional coming up against Manchester United, but it's always difficult as well.
David, when you played for Manchester United, you could be 3-4-0 up with a minute to go, and you were still desperate to make it 5 or maybe 6. I don't see that in the team still in the Premier League. What was it about you, and still is about United, that does that?
There's no other team like that in the world. I've been lucky enough to have played with AC Milan and Real Madrid, of course, but there's no other club that has that. And any new player that comes into Manchester United, they feel that straight away. The manager expects you to work hard. He expects you to, win games, and if you don't win games, he expects you to be upset when you've lost them. In '99 season, there was many games where we were 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go, and we ended up winning 2-1. I remember the Liverpool game, which set really our whole season off, our whole treble off, being 1-0 down at Old Trafford, getting a penalty and then winning the game. So that's installed into you from a very young age as a Manchester United youth team player, and it carries on all the way through the team. So it's never say die attitude. It's what Manchester United have.
Let's go all the way to the far right, sitting down.
David, did you have a talk with Hans Wagner before the game about the role, and what did you
He just said to me, let me know how you feel through the game on half time, and the problem is with me, it doesn't matter how old I am, once I'm on the field I don't want to come off, and I'll always be like that. So but I enjoyed it tonight. It was a role that Hans asked me to play. We had a lot of joy with it in the first half with the 3 in midfield. I was able to get on the ball and play a lot of balls through to Thierry and to the other players that we had playing, and it worked out well. But I enjoyed the night. It was a great night for soccer in this country.
What was it about tonight, especially in the first half, that worked so well for the MLS All-Stars? Because you really were in the game for quite some time.
Yeah, I think that we was passing the ball around well, our movement was good, we were finding good spaces, and spaces where we could put pressure on their back line. The runners the runs of Thierry and Brad Davis just getting into certain areas, it was good, and we created chances through that. So, Brad had one just before they scored their first goal, continue, because we were still getting chances.
Any of your teammates you were particularly impressed with? I mean, you've already mentioned Thierry Henry and Davis.
I think there's many players out there. Every player that was out there deserved to be here. It's an honour playing for the All Stars. It always has been, and those players deserve to be out there. It's a great night for them, great night for their families, great night for the fans here as well.
Far right.
David, can you explain the captain's armband? Many may have thought that it's Thierry Henry's stadium that he would have. Was there a talk there, a discussion?
I was surprised as anyone to get the armband because I expected Thierry to have it, it being his home, it being his team and his fans. But I think Thierry might have sneakily just put it in my locker just before the game. So I did thank him for it, but he didn't admit to it. But I know what Thierry's like, so thanks to him. But it was a surprise.
Time for a couple more.
Are you excited to get back to your new daughter?
I am, we've been Skyping with her, and it was hard leaving them all the other day. It's always hard leaving my family, but having a 2-week-old daughter and leaving her and leaving the boys at Victoria, it was difficult, but I can't wait to get back and hold her, and she's gorgeous. She's absolutely stunning. So the boys won't put her down, they won't leave her alone. So I hope they're like that in 20 years.
Second row.
Thank you. Hi David, question for the MLS fans in Montreal. There's going to be a new team next year in MLS. How important you think it is to get a player like David Beckham or Thierry Henry for an expansion team?
I think it's important, but I don't think it's the most important thing because I think if you look at the team like Salt Lake, they've got a great team. They don't have one of those players, and it works. But I think when you've got a player like Thierry that comes into New York and the excitement and his level of play, it helps. And Montreal is such a great city. It's a beautiful city, and it's going to be an exciting team that comes through because I know the fans are passionate about sport, and it's exciting to have another team coming into the league. It shows the growth of the game. I think in the last 4 or 5 years, there's 7 new teams come into the league. There's 9 new soccer stadiums been built around the league, and that shows success. So if it continues, then this league, 5, 10, 15 years will compete with some of the major leagues around Europe.
One more. The second row.
David, just last year you couldn't play because of your injury, and you'll be coming back with the Galaxy anyway end of August. What was it like to playing inside Red Bull Arena for the first time?
I've always loved playing in New York. I love New York as a city. I love the people, I love the buzz. And the first time I played in New York, it was such a great atmosphere. And like I said, I always love coming back here. But tonight playing this stadium, definitely one of the best stadiums in the MLS. Great fans, they're passionate fans. And I love the way they cheer for Thierry. It's great to see. So it was a pleasure playing here tonight, a pleasure playing in front of those fans.
Thank you, David, for your time.
You were
One
the
more?
last one.
Thanks.
Thank you. I was actually just wondering if you could speak a bit on if this is a difficult match to prepare for, just in terms of the short work week, as well as the heightened expectation on a domestic standpoint to make a game of it.
Obviously it is because you come together and they're players you've played against for a few months or a few years, but it's the first time you're playing together. But the last time I played in MLS All-Stars game, the team came together, you played well, you clicked, and I think, especially in the first half, it showed that if you're a good enough player, you can just come together and you just play. And we didn't have enough time together, but that's the way it is. That's part of being in the All-Star team. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Every one of those guys deserved to be here tonight, and it was a pleasure playing with all of them because they all deserve to be here, and congratulations to them and their families. It was a great night for everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night.